have my backpack. That's going to have everything. I bring my 10 items, my clothing that I'm allowed to bring. It'll have my batteries and electronics for streaming with, and my solar panel. That's what I'll be using. And I'll have a separate backpack of things that I hope to not use, plus a big jug of water should there be no water accessible on the island. There's no water accessible on the island, and I have a time limit there. Yeah, that's the plan. It should be interesting, and I have no experience, so don't expect me to be very good at it. It'll be a lesson in showing what it's like for someone who has no survival experience except for just experienced camping, how they fare. Can you see that solar panel is used for charging batteries? I had an Anchor PowerPort solar 21-watt solar panel. This is an 80-watt, so it has a lot more maximum draw. It's never going to get 80, just like the other one didn't get 21 watts. And what made it useless, it probably would have been just fine if I was sitting down somewhere and laid it out and just sat there and was charging. But that's not the situation I'm in when I'm traveling, when I'm hitchhiking. I'm walking, so I draped it over my backpack, but walking between the sun and the shade, it would stop charging when you went into the shade, which is fine, but then you'd go back into the sun and it wouldn't start charging again. So it essentially is, for my purposes, I found it 100% useless because it's on your back and you're walking, but you have to micromanage it every time you go into the shade and unplug it and plug it back in. This would be a different circumstance. So even that old solar panel, if I had it here, I'd bring it with me as well, but I don't have it here because it's in Kelowna. So I got this. We're doing for water. Hopefully there's essentially a creek or a stream on the island. Star Wars shirts. It's the only t-shirt that I had here in Comox. I'm not bringing it, so I'm just using it while I'm out here. Grow a beard at Tom Hanks' Castaway. So yeah, I initially said I'm going to shave the beard and want to see how long it gets while I'm there. But I'm like, maybe I should just go to the island with the scraggly beard, and it'll just like, then when I'm there, I'll look like super rugged looking. What? Yeah, the auto is doing weird things. I think it's the lighting. Is it going to be on an uninhabited island? As long as we can get there, as long as the weather holds up enough that we can get there. It's not windy right now, it's like snowing, strangely. Yeah. But yeah, uninhabited island and survive there. Leave it, it'll keep your face warm. It would add some amount of warmth. Are you sure your fishing kit? Plus, I'm allowed to bring 25 fishing hooks. That's a lot of fishing hooks, but nothing else. Are you gonna stream it? It's the only reason I'm doing it. I'm trying to find stuff to stream. Like, I'd want to do that regardless of streaming it. I think it'd be interesting, but again, I stream traveling and I can't travel, so now I don't have a job. So I want to do stuff that's fun outdoors that I can do given the current circumstances. What happens when you get into trouble? What happens when anyone gets into trouble? If I'm streaming, then I'm connected to the Sailor Network and I'm connected to Civilization, and I can call for help. I have people that can come and pick me up on a boat if I call them. But if that's not accessible, then you swallow your pride and call someone that can come get you. My first choice would be the people that I know that can come get me. My second option would be to call people in the town close by and try to find someone that I can pay a bunch of money to come get me. And then the third choice would be the actual official people that can come rescue you should you need it. So safety measures are in place. Yeah, and that's why I'm gonna have a whole backpack plus like a big thing of water in case I can't do what I want to do. You have to pay for the official people? No, because they don't want you to die, and don't want you to be concerned about your finances over getting rescued. Um, maybe if you're super reckless, maybe they'd charge you. I'm not sure. Does anyone get charged for search and rescue? Who made the rules? There's a TV show called Alone, and for my own entertainment and potentially your entertainment's sake, I'm like, well, let's do what they're doing. Yes, you do get charged for search and rescue, and it's a lot. Where are you from? I feel like you don't in Canada. Was answering begin in theory tomorrow, unless the weather's bad enough that we can't. I my family knows someone that I think does that, so they'd probably know. Anyone just go to the island? No, it's a private island, and I specifically asked for permission, and I was given permission to do what I'm doing on the island. Yeah. Watch drawing, you're not alone with chat. Yeah, so big difference between myself and TV shows. I'll still be talking to a bunch of people. It'll just be through the internet. So there's definitely a big difference there. But I'm just following the rules as far as the actual survival side of things, because my job is to live stream, not to live on an uninhabited island and do that. My friend broke his leg on ski. Don't think they charged him. Yeah, I don't think in Canada, unless maybe in some outlying situations, like whoever decides how stupid a situation is, if they decide it's really stupid, then maybe they try to punish you in some way, or at least like it'd probably be like if you're doing something so stupid that it's illegal in the first place, then they might kind of throw the book at you as far as the legal consequences of whatever you were doing that was illegal that then got you into a bad situation that then you had to be rescued from. But I don't think you get charged for search and rescue. Whistlers charge people for mountain rescue? Yeah. Maybe. But I think the general mentality is the service is there and they don't want to scare people away from needing or using it should you actually need it. Be bulking up beforehand so you can use that fat for starting. Yeah, in theory, like the more fat I have on me, then I can literally just not eat for weeks and we'd be all right? So I'm a bit at a disadvantage because I'm really skinny in that way. Yeah. Because I feel like I've heard on some seasons of either Alone or Naked and Afraid and stuff like that, essentially the position they put people in makes it so the chances of them finding enough food to actually sustain themselves in any kind of way off of it is next to none. But the show only goes on for so long, so if they just get a little bit of something, they're not going to starve to death. But essentially, you're watching people that are on the way to starving to death and hopefully not starving to death, and that's what you're watching people survive with. Give me like survival, we go in without any food and stuff. The things on this table is what I'm bringing, and the things on this table are the 10 things, or 10 things chosen from a list of things I can bring, and that doesn't include 5 pounds of nuts, because that's one of the things you can choose. But other than that, that's all I got. It's a lot of nuts. Yeah, no, like 5 pounds is quite a bit. I'm surprised that you're allowed to have that much. I should make sure no one like runs the sink because my sugar water concoction is just sitting in the sink with the tap right above it. Because it just looks like water in there. So like, yeah. Hardly be more social distance than on uninhabited island. That's my mentality. Like, what better time is it to be on an uninhabited island by yourself completely than when you're supposed to be socially distancing yourself from everyone? If there's any time to do that, it's right now. Just gonna make sure it sinks. Okay. It's cooled down pretty quickly. Still got a little bit of warmth there, but yeah. Watch the Office episode where Michael tries to do something at the front. I think I've watched that a long time ago. Yeah. Peter Woodsman, Miss Canada, is a lot of rural survival. There's quite a few people that do different survival stuff, like on YouTube. It's a fairly popular kind of category on YouTube. I watched a little bit of things just for curiosity's sake. So I've gone there watching a few videos, but having no experience. It's probably a bad time to ask people to come and join me because they gotta travel from wherever they are in Canada on domestic flights and stuff like that and come meet you there. That's something we could do in the future, should this be a fun thing. This is me just finding something to do. Well, my job of streaming traveling is impossible. But it's something I'm actually excited for. Fishing rod, you're not allowed to bring a fishing rod. You're allowed to bring 300 feet of fishing line and some fishing hooks. Beard Ruins is us on the show alone. Okay. What are you going to do? That's tomorrow. But yeah, people asking about solar panel. I have no idea how long it'll take. My batteries are 26,800 milliamp hours. This is the surface area of the thing, so it's fairly big. It's an 80 watt. You're not going to get 80 watts from it, but even in ideal conditions. And the west coast of Canada is a rainy place. Right now it's a mix of sun and cloud, and snow apparently. But I'm hoping to get enough draw from that to run a cell phone and a modem. That's the only two things I need. Well, I guess plus my backup cell phone for other things I might need. How we get water? There apparently are creeks on the island. They're not always running, but it is spring, so hopefully they're running in the spring. Fry fish, boil fish. Chances of me catching a fish, I think, are very slim. Leaving right now, tomorrow. Streaming it, I'm not sure if I'll be streaming the trip or not, or turn it on once I get there. How many people will there be on the island? It's an uninhabited island, which means it's uninhabited, which means there's no people on it. So that's the purpose of it. Could there be anyone on it? Sure. It's close enough to civilization that someone could go over, but no one lives there. What will be the temperature like there? Highs 10 well, sometimes less. Like I will say, daytime highs of 7 to probably max 14 or something like that. Lows of between probably like -1 and 3 or 4. Clean taps of water, not allowed to bring that. So no. I think the only thing I'm bringing that they said you're not allowed to bring is sunglasses, because screw them, I'm gonna bring my sunglasses. They're janky anyway. Look at the bridge on this thing. It's a piece of electrical tape. Fishing bad day, then what's be sufficient size limits? Well, apparently just right now there's not that much